It mattered so much to me because I got a chance to tell her everything I hadn't told her, just how much she inspired me, how much I loved her, her impact in my life. And yeah, it was an emotional conversation. I didn't know it was going to be my last time speaking to her, but
it was like 48 hours before her death. And you really felt that at the end of the call that maybe she's going to be able to turn it around.
Clive Davis has passed. The man Whitney Houston called her industry father died June 22nd at 94, and less than 24 hours later, India Arie pulled up on Threads, telling artists to watch what kind of archival interviews are about to come out. Online, they're saying with Clive gone, Brandy is finally free to tell us what was in the note. Whitney slipped her 2 days before she died. Sit down. Let me get into it. Quick history. Clive discovered Whitney at a New York nightclub in 1983, signed her to Arista at 19, and built her debut album from the ground up. That record sold 25 million copies worldwide.
But the buck stops when you are committing the money to sign an artist and pay them advance money and the cost of recording. So it's not a matter of degrees of credit. Certainly in the case of Whitney Houston, Jerry Griffith, an A&R man that worked for me, was the one that encouraged me to go see her. He had met her first, but there was competition of a few labels, and that recognition when I saw her in a Mother's Act, saying this is a stunning new talent.
That voice, combined with those looks, help explain why music critics touted 1985 as the year of Whitney Houston. And considering her first album already has gone double platinum, it's possible the rest of the century may also be hers for the taking. But while the remarkably self-possessed cover girl model who started out singing in the New Hope, New Jersey Baptist Church remains outwardly unruffled by success.
But former Arista marketing director Kenneth Reynolds said in the 2017 documentary Whitney Houston, Can I Be Me? Anything too black sounding got sent right back to the studio. From the jump, Whitney was being engineered to be palatable, and Clive was the engineer. The cracks came early. In 1987, Michael Jackson wanted Whitney on a duet for the Bad album, and Arista blocked it, claiming it would distract from her sophomore record. They gave the song to Sita Garrett. Years later, Michael came back around for another duet called If I Told You That, and that one fell through too. The song landed with George Michael. Twice they kept Whitney away from MJ. Word is Clive sabotaged those duets because Michael owned his masters, and Clive wasn't about to let Whitney get any ideas. Then came August 2001. Whitney signed a $100 million deal with Arista. 6 albums, one of the biggest contracts in music history at the time. Drama pages are alleging that contract had a clause that let the label recoup their advances if Whitney died. By the late 2000s, the albums weren't moving like before. The promotion mysteriously dried up. The street's been saying the label was more incentivized to let her flop than to save her. Honey, that's not a record deal. That's a wager. Now here's where Brandy walks in.
Because she is. And I think it's something very personal between she and I. And she fit the role. She can handle the part. She handled the music. She handled the workload. Brandy's a showbiz kid, just like I am. And there are certain things that she is built for, as I am. And I knew she would be the one, and she'd be perfect, and she could handle it. And she was just that.
So many don't know how loving she really is. She's extremely loving, and when so many things were happening in my life that weren't in favor of me reaching my full potential, she was always there pushing me. And I think that it made it feel good when she was in the audience, just reminding us, helping us with sound and doing different things today, because their expertise, hers or Mr. Davis's, it can't be found anywhere else. Those are things that you learn with time and with true perfection and being around legendary people for a long amount of time. So this is the one place that we would want to reunite.
Brandy wrote in her March 2026 memoir, Phases, that it looked like evidence of an impulsive swim. Whitney walks straight past Clive, kisses Brandy on the cheek, whispers, "This is for you," and slips her a folded handwritten note.
Knowing she'd soon share the stage at the 1995 Kids' Choice Awards with her hero, Whitney Houston.
Hey, baby girl.
Only extra with this amazing video, the superstar surprising her biggest fan.
Where you going? Don't you start crying and carrying on and stuff. Come here with your little pretty self. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. Yeah, oh, look at you. How you handling that, huh? Let's go. Come on, let's go and sit down.
Just 2 days before her death, Whitney bursting into this interview with Clive Davis, Monica, and Brandy, handing her protege a private note.
This was you. I love you, Whitney Houston. Peace.
Then she makes sure little Bobbi Kristina runs over and hugs Clive, locking him in a conversation so Brandy could read what her godmother just handed her. That wasn't accidental. That was a woman with a plan. Brandy called Whitney that night. They talked for 3 hours.
I really wish she was still here. I try not to go back to it often because it's really a painful memory for me. But I'm so blessed that I was able to speak to her and get everything off of my chest to tell her how I felt about her, because I hadn't spoken to her in a long time.
And Brandy did share this part publicly. I'm gonna be better. You'll see. This is just a season, not the whole story. Brandy called those words both a prophecy and a goodbye. 2 days later, on Brandy's 33rd birthday, Whitney was found drowned in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton. And the note? Brandy has been sitting on it for 14 years. In phases, she explained that the world weaves its own stories from her silence, but after giving so much of themselves to the public, she wanted to keep one small piece of their bond untouched. That's the public reason. Drama pages are alleging the real reason was fear. Fear that if she ever ran her mouth on what Whitney warned her about, Clive would come for her career the same way they say he came for Whitney's. And what do they say Whitney warned her about? The internet saying the Brandy and Monica reunion that year had Clive eyeing Brandy for a deal under his umbrella. Word is the whole reason he agreed to that E! News interview in the first place was to sweeten her up. Whitney caught wind of it and showed up to that taping for one reason: to slip her goddaughter a written warning to run. Insiders close to Brandy are claiming that note was a goodbye and a getaway map. Now I know what y'all thinking. Where are the receipts on Clive being that dangerous? Baby, pull up a chair. Arista artist Phyllis Hyman left this quote on record before she passed in 1995.
Davis taught me to never be afraid because I was so terrorized by him. Whether he meant to do it or not, I'll never know. But he sure taught me that if you try to terrorize me again, well, we can't say that on public radio. What I may do to someone who tries to hurt me again in this business, I'm not having it. I should be respected as I respect, and I will not have someone try to ruin my spirit and ruin my career. If Clive Davis, if his plan was to destroy my career, it didn't work.
That's not a fan rumor. That's a woman who lived inside that machine telling us what it cost her. And she ain't the only one. TLC filed bankruptcy the same year Crazy Sexy Cool sold 12 million copies under his label. Toni Braxton filed too. Same playbook, different artist. That ain't a coincidence. That's a pattern. And now that Clive is gone, the dam is cracking. India Arie posted on Threads June 23rd, one day after his passing, calling out the dominant record labels Clive sat on top of for 5 decades and saying they hurt a lot of artists getting there. Then she dropped this one. She said, mark her words. Watch what kind of archival interviews are about to come out. She said she'd tell her own story too, but hers is minimal compared to what we're about to hear. Y'all catch that? She's telling us the line is forming and Brandy is at the front. One more receipt before I let y'all go. The night Whitney's body was still upstairs at the Beverly Hilton, Clive Davis went forward with his pre-Grammy gala in the same hotel. Music playing, champagne flowing. He said Whitney would have wanted the show to go on. Folks online saying that wasn't grief. That was a man who already had his Tuesday cleared. So tell me what y'all really think. Is Brandy gonna read us that note now that the man she was scared of is in the ground? Or is she taking what Whitney wrote to the grave with her? Drop your theory in the comments. I wanna read y'all on this one. Hit that like, subscribe if you new around here, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, baddies.